We're working out. Let's turn this party down.
Hey everybody, and I am Tomarag, and today is episode 8 of What the Hell Wednesday, and I hope you enjoy it. And quick note on the gameplay, it is hardcore kill confirmed, just owning some noobs as I go. Anyways, the first topic I have for today is last night. I don't know if any of you have heard about it yet, but Sony released a new firmware update for the PS3. It was update 4.45, and a lot of people are starting to report that when they go to update their firmware, their PS3 completely locks up and basically kind of turns into a brick. It kind of sounds like also that when they load their system or turn it on after it restarts from the update, it kind of just gets stuck on the loading screen and they cannot do anything about it. Some people are speculating that part of this firmware issue with the update is it depends on how big of a hard drive you have in it. I have not updated my PS3, so I haven't seen if I have that same issue. I think I have the 180 gig PS3 model with the Slim, but I'm kind of hesitant to update it now. But I honestly don't do a whole lot of PS3 gaming. Mainly use it for playing Blu-ray and watching Netflix or anything like that. So it hasn't affected me, but I think it's kind of funny that Sony happens to have this firmware fiasco, I guess you could call it, after everybody on the internet's basically saying that they won E3, and really there aren't too many people that are going to argue that point, that they did kind of blow Microsoft out of the water with this. But it seems like Sony is the one, they have a lot more problems with the PlayStation Network, and especially the biggest thing that I think everybody remembers if you had a PS3 is when they were hacked and their servers were down forever and a half, and you got rewarded by getting 2 free games of your choice out of I don't remember what it was, 5-6 games. But it doesn't seem like you ever hear anything like this with Microsoft and Xbox Live. And as far as I can remember, I've had Xbox Live since I've been a gold member since I think it was winter 06 into spring 07, something like that. So I've had it for 6 years, and I don't ever remember there being an issue with
There's 3 people in front of me right now.
Xbox Live like Microsoft's, or excuse me, like Sony's had with their PS3 with the hacking or this firmware update. Now granted, the 360 did have the red ring of death, but you know, that was a hardware issue, not a software issue like Sony's been having with the PS3. And I think that, I don't know, I have more of a preference to the Xbox One than the PS4 just because I like the Xbox 360 so much, even though I do have a PS3. But I don't know, to get the PS4, it kind of makes me hesitant with all the issues Sony's had with the PlayStation Network in the past. And you know, maybe things will get a lot better where they're going to be charging the, what was it, $5 a month to play online now on the PlayStation Network, like Microsoft does. I'm sure that's a big reason why Xbox Live works so much better than the PlayStation Network, is because they charge that monthly amount, and they're able to update and pay people to keep up with it and add new features, make sure everything is working all right. And I don't know, I guess we'll kind of see how it goes. Now, the next topic I kind of wanted to talk about, I was just looking for some news websites, and I don't know if some of you have heard about this, but I found this website. I came across this article on Yahoo News, and it was also posted yesterday, but the incident that I'm going to talk about here actually goes back to April when it first occurred. So there was a 8th grader in West Virginia that was suspended for wearing a t-shirt to school that he supported the NRA. And I think it had a picture of like a rifle and said something to the effect of, support your rights or something like that. I'll put a link to the article in the description for you to check out. But anyway, so this 8th grader was suspended for wearing this shirt after a teacher asked him if he thought it was appropriate for for him to wear to school. And there's nothing in the school's policies that say anything about you can't wear a t-shirt showing that you support the Second Amendment rights or support the NRA, anything like that. And, you know, whether you do support that or you don't, the whole thing that happened here is just kind of ridiculous. So he gets suspended, 1 day out of school suspension, the way I'm reading this, and his next day at school, he goes back to school with the same shirt, and there's a bunch of other kids that they kind of wear the exact same shirt or some other variation of it, you know, supporting the Second Amendment to school, and nobody else gets in trouble when this happens. And then it sounds like somehow the police got involved and they were threatening to arrest him with terroristic threats. And as far as I can tell, the officer that claimed that had really no proof that the kid ever said it. The kid obviously denies that he ever said anything to that effect. And so the kid ends up getting arrested and is being charged with resisting arrest, I believe is what the count was. And the cop claimed that he had asked the student to stop talking several times or something like that, and therefore when he didn't listen, he arrested him for obstruction of justice. And I don't, how did something like this get that far into the process, where this kid who they said was a good student, no criminal record whatsoever, never was getting into any trouble, now all of a sudden he's arrested, facing up to a $500 fine or a year in prison. I really, even if they were to convict him, which would be completely ridiculous, why would you want to put something like that on his record? He wore a t-shirt to school, and now all of a sudden he's facing criminal charges for something ridiculous. It never, I really don't believe that it ever should have got that far. And his dad supported him in wearing that shirt. It's First Amendment rights, although your First Amendment rights are not completely what they would be if you're out in public in schools. There are some limitations on that. I can't remember exactly what those limitations are, but you can't get away with saying whatever you want in school and claim First Amendment rights. But he was wearing a t-shirt, and by the sounds of it, he wasn't really causing a big distraction or anything like that in school, but it ends up leading to him getting arrested by the cops. I don't know how any of you feel about it, but it just feels like the situation has just gotten way too out of control, and it seems like that's happening a lot these days. Whether it's a situation like this, or you know, a kindergartner is playing out on the playground and makes a little hand pistol, I guess, stick your index finger out with your thumb up and pretend that's a gun. There's been stories about where they get in trouble and get suspended for a day like that. And it just seems like people are taking stuff way too serious these days. They're kids, they're gonna play, maybe they're playing war or Cowboys and Indians or something like that. The point is this stuff is just getting carried on way too far. And I think our government has a lot to do with that, and our public education system has something to do with that. And it's just stupid shit like that just bothers me, that like, really, this is what we're worrying about in the country right now. Get your shit together, people, because this is ridiculous. And I saw a quick article on how, was it like 36 states, the highest paid person in the state is a sports coach, whether it's basketball, football, any variation of that for colleges. How ridiculous is that? That's the highest paid person in class. or in that state. Anyways, I'd love to hear some comments below, and let me know what you guys think on these topics. And as always, if you have any other topics for me, go ahead and post in the comments, and I'll try to cover them. If you like, I'd really appreciate thumbs up and a subscribe from you. Thanks.